Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 29th of October 2020, and in this we will be discussing in this video about the issues that are plaguing the power exchanges and also the potential of 5G in our country. This article titled "The Case for Coupling of Power Exchanges" is taken from the Business Standard, and we'll be taking a look at the power sector issues and what we can do to revive the ailing power sector. So before getting into the details of this article, let us understand the issues that are plaguing the power sector. If we take a look at the stakeholders in the power sector, let us look at them in supply side and the other side is demand side. Now when we are talking about the demand side, we are generally talking about the customers. So who are these customers? We'll have households, we have the industries, and then we have the agricultural sector. So generally, as far as agricultural sector is considered, many states dole out subsidized power regime for its farmers, and there are some other states which actually give free power to the farmers. So there is indiscriminate usage of electricity in certain states. So this is one of the issue. Now the remaining stakeholders involved on the demand side, that is customers, involve the households and the industries. In order to ensure that the middle class does not feel the burden of power bills, there is generally a pattern of cross subsidization which is borne by industries. That is, the industrial sector will have power at a much expensive rate. So this is the problem with the demand side of the entire power sector. Now let us have a look at the issues with the supply side. When we talk about the supply side, there are generally two stakeholders involved. One, the power generators. Two, the DISCOMs. The problem is majorly with the DISCOMs functioning. The reason is they have a power purchase agreement with power generators. Now DISCOMs are supposed to honor this agreement. But what if the supply side is taken care of and on the demand side the demand has actually fallen, or there is no payment from the stakeholders because of various issues? So this will actually put DISCOMs in a trouble. The power generators will be more or less safe because they have their power purchase agreement, which is a sort of an insurance that despite market failure, these DISCOMs have to bear the entire bill. This is a sort of a unfair advantage that power generators have. Having said that, even power generators have their own set of issues. Because of the variable demand across states, power generators do not know how much electricity should be produced at different points of time. Now you have to understand that the technology is not adequately developed to store electrical power. So it should be dynamically produced and dynamically transmitted without any losses. So here the DISCOMs play a major role, and as far as generation is concerned, the power sector needs formidable data to ensure the optimum levels of production is happening. So this is the major problem. In order to ensure that this lack of information does not hamper the production, the least that could be done is establishment of power exchanges. Now what are these power exchanges? They are more or less like stock exchange. For example, let us consider a state A which has a surplus of power. Now what can it do with this surplus power? Obviously it wants to trade. Now there is another state B which has a deficit, so obviously it will want to buy this. Now where will we actually buy this power on a day-to-day basis? So for this we need to have certain infrastructure in place. The infrastructure in place needed would be first a platform wherein both these states can start exchanging the deals or the agreements. That platform is power exchange. The second one is there should be enough infrastructure for transmission of power with minimal losses. So for this, the country has a power grid. So the National Power Grid Corporation will take care of this power grid. Now when we are talking about renewable energy, the reason why it is not economically feasible, or it is actually perceived as not economically feasible by a lot of discoms, is because it is very difficult for this renewable energy sector to get integrated with the power grid. The reason is there is a aspect called grid stability. If the power requirement exceeds beyond a particular point of time, the renewable energy sector should be able to cater to that. So there is no reliability with respect to renewable energy, because take for example the solar power. What happens after sunset? Do we have the technology at such a level where we can store the potential of power generated through solar? Not yet. So therefore this grid stability is one aspect that renewable energy is lacking at. In this context, one has to understand a important terminology called market clearing price. So whenever there is an excess demand when compared to supply, what is the cost of last unit of power that is generated? That cost is called the market clearing price in power exchanges. This can be an important information for your preliminary exam as well. So India right now has around 5% of power that is traded through these power exchanges. Now in India there are two power exchanges, namely the Indian Energy Exchange or IEX, which is established in the year 2006. The other one is the Power Exchange India Limited, that was established in 2008. So this PXIL actually has its own indigenous software and it operates on its own software. As these two are two different markets, the prices on each of these markets will vary. So one major complaint that discoms actually poses the duality of prices on these two power exchanges. So what the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, CERC, which is the electricity price regulator, decided is, why not have a common bid? So when we are saying the coupling of power exchanges, this is what we meant. In order to realize a better price, in order to ensure affordability to discoms and ease their pressure, why not have a common bid to ensure that the market clearing price stays low to the consumer and also ensures affordability, and at the same time reduce the cost of compliance to the discoms as well. Now whenever there is two different companies involved, let us treat them as companies for now. If there are two companies, say let us compare it with Amazon and Flipkart. Today we have a big billion day sale from Flipkart, and at the same time we have Amazon sale for every festival. So naturally a consumer tries to understand at which site he is going to get the best price, whether it is Flipkart or whether it is Amazon. So what this ensures is a atmosphere of competition. Now one of the major complaint against this coupling of power exchanges is that it will stop the competition and efficiency of the markets. Here is where the article gets a bit technical, but let us stick to the agenda of our article, that is to use it for UPSC only. Now the problem with coupling and the argument against competition, the issues raised against the idea of coupling, the author presents that. Now whenever we talk about competition, one essential factor that we have to consider is pricing. So whenever we go to Amazon or Flipkart, is it that we blindly place the order for a product, or we would look at the price? Actually we'll be looking at the price. But what happens in this power exchanges is, there are two types of power where the consumers or the clients who wants to buy power on these exchanges resort to. One is the kind of power where they would place a direct bid without actually knowing the price, and the other one is a long term power contract wherein the price is actually revealed. Now when you are competing for getting access to power so that you can do your business, you can decide the output cost or the price at which you will charge the consumer only when you know the bid price, that is the price at which you are buying. Because of the nature of electricity, which is indispensable, we do not have any other alternate option. So the discoms blindly pays a bid without even knowing the price. So what this author actually suggests is, as far as these bids are concerned, which are short term in nature, there should be a coupling of power exchanges, and there should be an opacity of what is the price. Because say for example, on the power exchange 1 and on the power exchange 2, there, for example, that is IEX and PXIL. If a discom places a order at X rupees on IEX and the price is actually less than X, let's say X minus 5, this is the price on PXIL. Now unless and until we have a clarity on how we are going to get the price, we would obviously be willing to pay only X minus 5 rather than X. It is because of this lack of coupling we are paying X at IEX and not even looking at PXIL. So this is what the author wants to avoid and ensure a good competition. So this is what the author suggests when he means by coupling of power exchanges. So this entire article is very important for your preliminary exam, not just for your mains, because you understood something called market clearing price, you understood the concept of power exchanges, the percentage of power that is traded through this, that is 5%, and the importance of coupling the power exchanges. This is a very important article, a rare piece of article which gives you insight into how power trade is actually happening in our country. The second article for the day, called 5G Promise for India, is taken from the Financial Express. Now let us have a look into the 5G technology and its promise for India. So in April 2019, South Korea became the first country in the world to roll out the 5G network across its country. So 5G is key for countries looking to actually capitalize on all the future technologies. Similarly, India, through its National Digital Communication Policy 2018, has actually highlighted the importance of 5G when it states that the convergence of various technologies like say Internet of Things or data analytics, all this require a fast internet which will be provided by 5G. So 5G is like the fuel that will run the engine of IoT and data analytics, and therefore another technology like artificial intelligence which uses these technologies. So in the case of India, 5G networks would improve the accessibility to services, say for example mobile banking or health through telemedicine, or even Internet of Things will make devices much more accessible to the rural sector, and this would help the delivery of healthcare as well. So it would actually enable an exponential growth and opportunities for employment as well. Now when we are saying 5G is very quick or very fast, how fast is it? Say for example the 4G right now has a speed of 6 to 7 Mbps. Now when we are talking about 5G, we are talking in the range of Gbps. 2 to 20 Gbps is the expected speed. Now with a prediction by KPMG that in India by 2025 we will have nearly 1 trillion economy worth 5G devices. That is a huge amount. So this is to say that 5G will actually penetrate all the sectors. So the article suggests that in order to leverage this technology of 5G, we have to address the policy concerns. The most important issue here is the high spectrum pricing. So there has been uncompetitive pricing and unrealistic pricing of spectrum by the Indian government according to the view of the author. So the proposed rate of 65 million per megahertz is way too higher than the price that is quoted in a lot of other countries. So we are looking at spectrum as a source of revenue especially when the tax revenue has been falling down. Author suggests that we have to stop looking at this spectrum just as a source of revenue, because it has a potential to create a multiplier effect in various fields. Therefore, it is important to note that this is not just a revenue source but also a source of investment for further employment. Therefore, we have to address this concern as soon as possible. That is the gist of this article.